welcome back to another matchup. In the blue, playing as the Huns, we do have Dogao. Over in the red, we do have Fire playing as the Vikings. As for the map today, we are on Arabia, so pretty cool stuff. You know what else is kind of insane? 60% of you aren't subbed right now that are watching this. That's a stat. I have that stat, so you should subscribe. There's going to be a lot more regular stuff like this, and we might even do some other things, and that's a good excuse for me to say let's do more commentaries and things like that on the channel. So, subscribe, but let's get away from that. So, looking for Fire, what have we got? We've got stone over towards the side here. We've got a back stone as well. Gold. Ooh, that's unfortunate. That's 4 tiles. That would be a tournament restart most of the time. Yeah, that really sucks for him. He's got the forward gold over here towards the front as well, and the other gold is forward. Man, if that gold was a little bit forward from where it was, and he could wall kind of around there, that wouldn't be too bad, but that actually really hurts. So we'll see what he does to kind of make this one work. Like I was saying, stone here and here. A couple of ibex as well. Sheep, herdables. We've got the boars both front. Man, not the luckiest spawn I've ever seen here for Fire, but I guess he's got a way to kind of wall this one off relatively well, but tree lines are very, very sparse for him. As for Dogao, let's have a look. And Dogao's got this massive open side here. Like, it's so big. It doesn't make things easy for him. Could wall off potentially from around here if he wants to, but that's a huge area to actually cover. We've got barriers towards the top of the town center. Looks like we've got both front golds now, which is a little bit annoying. Stone in the back. Again, not the biggest deal for Vikings or Huns when it comes down to it, because we're not like we're going to be seeing a Marauder Rush, or I'd be surprised if we see a Marauder Rush or a Berserk Rush anyway. But not the biggest deal. Stone in the front as well. And man, these tree lines are pretty ugly for both players now. I'll say both of them will struggle it out to kind of wall. We do have a lot of neutral golds down towards this west side of the map, however, just counting around here. Dun 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 dun, or even then, 2 neutrals, I guess. Actually, no, it'd be neutral and another one over on this side here. So, what else have we got going on? Not too much hill. A lot of hill towards the center here. Castles up on this area if the game goes into late could be very, very helpful. This side over here, not a lot of key resource to protect, maybe over here, but that's really all they would need. As for the civilizations, as we know, Huns are an absolute favorite of the high-level players. Super versatile, which is the big thing, and super quick to get going, so you can be on the aggressive kind of play from the beginning, which is nice, and you can really dictate that pace. So, options, I've got paladins, cavalry archers are always a good time, marauders if they really want to kind of move into it. Siege is okay, I guess it kind of struggles with just mangonel, but, you know, for Castle Age, when it's just about getting through, it's alright. As for Fire, Vikings, we know, look, Knights are no bloodlines, which is always a little bit annoying, but if you need them, Nah, don't go Knights. But in all seriousness, you've got infantry, extra HP, which is nice. So as far as pikes go, if he needs to defend off any knights from his opponent, that's where things are good. Berserkers as well. Look, very rare to see them, but against Huns, particularly if we see a lot of cavalry, could be an option. But I think Arbalest is kind of really where we're going to sit from here. Vikings, of course, known for water, land. They're good everywhere, I would say. Free handcart, free wheelbarrow. Means they're in a pretty good situation, especially economy-wise. So we'll see what Fire decides to do to kind of dictate this one. Because really, if Dogao takes pace and he's the one hammering in on Fire, I think it's going to be pretty much towards, I would say, Dogao's game, if that's the case. But Dogao's a little bit stronger as a player, I'd say as well. Fire's still great, don't get me wrong. But we'll see what happens coming into the rest of this game. And looks like we did have Dogao there. He was trying to lame the boar, was trying to lame the villager over here. So we're just having a new one sent out. How's the scout? Still in full HP. Nice one there. Very, very nice. And let's have a look over here. Have we seen any push? No. Obviously he's out across the map at the moment. And we've seen the wall off at the moment is starting up from Fire. And going to see a little bit of scout on scout combat there. Going to wall this section. Looks like this is the next go, just judging by the palisade and the house. We might speed things along for a little bit. This is something I kind of stopped doing recently, but the Dark Age, we kind of know what's going on. Well, until this barracks is built anyway. So we can kind of just hang out for now. But we've got, of course, Feudal Age for Dogao. Delayed Feudal for Fire. But 3 militia in production. So we do have that drush coming out from Fire. So we'll be behind a little bit, but a little bit of a stronger eco behind it. So up to him what he does want to do building out of that. But it means he's generally going to be in a better place, especially if he gets all this walling up and going. Because it means he's got the option for a fast castle or anything kind of behind that he would like to do. In fact, let's check these village accounts. Sorry guys, I always leave this one. Let's have a look. What's he deciding to do? 23 pop. A little bit more. And then what do we got over here? Barracks just getting thrown up for Dogao. Dogao pretty much looking like a scout build at this stage. Just going to be able to go straight in for those bad boys. So let's just speed it up a little bit more as the Drush moves out across the map. Hasn't been spotted by Dogao yet, but he did see the barracks, so he has a pretty good idea of what's coming. There we go. Palisades go down around the berries. Stable gets thrown up to get those couple of scouts out. And now for Fire, this is all about delaying. If he can delay Dogao here enough to get his full walls up, which looks like he's just about there. In fact, the full walls are up, so he's feeling a little bit safer now. Get a couple of hits there from the town center on the militia. Dogao gets his upgrades. Stable's just about finished here. Double woodline as well, something worth pointing out. Tried to get a little bit of harassment. One of those villages actually quite low HP. Does get sent to farming. Really good choice on that. And the stable is up, so waiting for kind of 2, maybe 3 extra scouts before he really wants to engage this, depending on the engagement he can get. Some of those militia, though, quite low HP, so he doesn't need to be too stressed about it right now. It's as long as it can't get into any of his wood lines or into his berries, he should be feeling relatively comfortable now and going to be able to move out across the map himself. But the thing he's going to run into is Fire is fully walled. Hopefully, just having a look around, see if it is an option. Oh man, he killed the Ibex, then re-walled around it. That's really funny. So, Fire at the moment, these militia looking for somewhere to do damage, but I'd say they're pretty much useless. We have the Palisades up against all of the wood lines until Dogao kind of wants to move out for this gold. Up until then, he's pretty much fine not worrying about the militia. He's got enough scouts out to kind of dictate the map at the moment, so he can kind of sit around here, make sure Fire's not moving anything else across. But Fire moving up into Feudal Age, just about there now, clicking into about 80%. And Dogao just going to keep an eye on those militia, know exactly where they are. I have a feeling both players know exactly what's going on here as well. So we shouldn't see anything too tricky, and basically Dogao is just going to build up his economy behind this, and Fire, we should see, let's have a look. In fact, let's jump over, have a look at the resource. There we go, blacksmith and archery range. On gold as well. Let's have a look down here. We've got Dogao hunting down these militia now with the scouts. Looks like he's sitting on top of the hill here. Could look for a hill advantage in this fight. Of course, Fire knows he's not going to be able to get out of here, so he just needs to try and get some damage on top of these units. One militia goes down. The low scout gets microed out of the way, and all the scouts survive that one quite easily. Really good micro there from Dogao, and just really showing how good he is. Archery range does get dropped down though. Fire has seen this. Potentially could have got a couple of hits on that villager there a little bit earlier. Not going to be enough to really delay though. Double spear does come out from Fire, however, and Fire going in for archers. This is really, really close. We're at 30 compared to 29 villagers. We do have Dogao a little bit in front. Dogao doing a little bit better in terms of his military right now, but the spears will push him all the way back home. And here we go, scout. Oh, gonna get out of there again for Fire. These two spears, though, are a little bit more than these scouts want to engage right now. Oh, nearly got a couple of hits there as well. But double archery range production gonna set up for pretty much Dogao right now. We do have Fire going for double archery range. Has gone up to castle behind this as well, of course, with that opening. And Dogao just going to be sitting around here. I think he knows this is the weakest spot for him right now. He's got the palisades around the lumber lines. He's got the town center, of course, to protect the farms. These guys here are sitting a little bit exposed, and he doesn't want to leave that. Some cool stuff, though, from Fire at the moment. I'm actually going to check the Fog of War, because Fire's been using the scout the last couple of minutes. Super low HP, 4 HP, rather than kind of just throwing it into battle, trying to get some damage out of it. He's actually been scouting off as much of the map as he can. He's looking for hills, relics, anything that's going to be important to the late game. Barracks only just getting put down now from, Barracks, Blacksmith just getting thrown down from Dogao, so he's going to be able to get the ups on top of his archers, but the big thing being the fact that Fire is already going to be up to Castle Age. He's going to have that crossbow tech, and he's going to be able to push out across the map. Of course, he's hidden these behind his walls too, so Dogao, I think he should know what's going on now, but he doesn't know what. Again, Vikings, you kind of know what you're up against here. So he did have the archeries hidden, so he didn't give everything dead giveaway, but Dogao's good enough to know exactly what he's playing for here. We do have Dogao going for a couple of skirmishes behind this. Tries to break in, but those two spears doing what work needs to be done and pushing those scouts away. Third archery range coming down from Dogao as well. This is getting, I love it. Super old school style Hun build. 3 archeries and then just straight into cavalry archers. In fact, he's going for a lot of skirms at the moment. So he's going to have an answer for the crossbows they're not going to want to push into. And he's got a couple of scouts out in the field as well to keep the map control for now until we do see Fire decide to push out across the map, which shouldn't be any time kind of soon. Needs a little bit more numbers before he'll be comfortable. In fact, what are we looking at back here? We've got one. Yeah, he needs more numbers before he needs to be anywhere close to comfortable moving out across the map. A lot of skirmishes here from Dogao again, just waiting for Castle Age by the looks of things. Lots of gold miners over there. As far as lumber goes, we've got 5 and 5, 10 on gold. Then looking over towards the food, we've got 12. So just a little summary for those at home. 31 compared to 32 villages at the moment. Dogao a little bit in front. Military counts are pretty much dead even. And here come the crossbows across the map. Fletching, no bodkin arrow just yet, however. And should be able to get the rest of these scouts hopefully on the way through. There's, oh, nearly got the one. But skirmishes coming in from Dogao, and this is where Fire has to be careful. He doesn't want to throw away these crossbow numbers yet. Looks like the scouts are still out, looking for somewhere to do some damage. And of course, just running away from the skirmishers. Elite skirmisher, bodkin arrow, and heavy cavalry, oh sorry, normal cavalry archers all getting thrown down immediately for Dogao. So it's feeling a little bit safer here. Also worth noting the fact that Dogao didn't feel like he needed to kind of wall in around his base. Whereas Fire, we've seen exactly that everywhere. And Fire even going down with the siege workshop. I guess probably important thing to note right now is the fact that we do have Vikings, which means they do have access to Onago, they do have access to Siege Ram. So it means later Imperial we can see some big siege plays, especially against Huns from Fire. It's still all palisades though, it's pretty easy to break into this once you've got the numbers. I guess the other thing is as well, Bodkin has dropped in for Fire, and here's the Mangonel coming from Fire defensively too. So he knows he can't really push into this with the crossbows, but should be able to contain the emergency or the problem that could pop up with the Mangonel relatively easily. And looks like Dogao just looking around at the moment, getting the scouting. Let's actually check out the scouting. So Fire saw most of that kind of other side of the map. When it comes to Dogao, whoop, we didn't actually change there. That shift click, and it looks like we've got the same kind of thing for Dogao, but hasn't seen this side quite just yet. However, he's running around there with the skirmisher now, just looking for any extra resource he can find. Cavalry archer numbers starting to get pretty dangerous now for Dogao. Extra town center, are we seeing a secondary extra town center as well? Nope, just the one, so one extra town center at the moment from Fire. Dogao drops down a second, no third on the map quite just yet. I guess the three archery cavalry archer will kind of set you back a little bit there. Does have the +1 armor. Bloodline's getting researched now too. We've got no extra armor at all for Fire just yet. And I think this is the thing with the cavalry archers that you have to be really careful of. Their mobility is what makes them so dangerous. And for now, it's not so bad because Fire is still quite contained. But the moment these cavalry archers can kind of be darting around the base, really going for damage, that's where he needs to be worried. And I don't think we've had Dogao reveal the cavalry archer numbers yet, just how many he's going for. That said, he was producing off 3 range and has actually dialed it back at the moment, so no cavalry archers in production. In fact, I say no cavalry archers in production, but he took a little bit of a break there just to get his 3rd town center up, so we'll be in a really good place economically. But cavalry archer numbers still great. Like, as far as it goes, 12 of those bad boys he's ready to fight with. We do have 17 crossbows, however. 3rd town center does come down from Fire towards the front here. Good defensive position as well. Kind of just gives him a little bit more option when it comes to holding this gold. And the cavalry archers are looking for somewhere to engage. Mangonel is in the correct positioning, however, here. So, gotta be careful these cavalry archers don't overextend, especially into the line of the crossbows. Sees the crossbows and no ballistics yet, of course. Can't really get too many kills or any real hits. But the 2 Mangonels will mean this area is kind of a no-go at the moment. A little bit dangerous to kind of be pushing into, but as far as things go for Fire, it means the town center will come up really easily. And might potentially even lose these scouts here, just to a barrage. Nope, not yet. And University comes up, of course. Ballistics going to be very, very important for this matchup. And look at this, 3 town center play up for both players. Siege Workshop finally coming down for Dogao as well, just increasing those cavalry archer numbers, now 21 compared to the 19. 2 Mangonels as well, so Fire will have the high ground here. And of course, we'll win the engagement when it comes to the start, thanks to that extra range. But the HP is where things get really different. 70 compared to... Oh, some potentially big hits here with the mangonels. Those are going to push Dogao away so quickly. Dogao is not interested in a big mangonel hit at the moment, putting that splash damage across his army and just really evening the playing field. Not what he's about. Skirmishers being annoying enough here towards the town center. Just doing what they need to do, you know, 5+2 range compared to the 6. So just enough to be annoying on this wood line and push some pressure onto this town center just to make things a little bit harder for fire than they need to be. Ballistics on the way for fire though, and we do have the counter mangonel coming out for Dogao, so we'll be able to start pushing into this hopefully. And man, those cavalry archer numbers are going to get so dangerous very, very quickly now, especially with the eco starting to snowball behind this one. Both players at the moment on about 60 villagers. We've got 60 for Dogao, 58 for fire. Military numbers though, 33 for Dogao and 24 for fire. Let's have a look at this. 24 cavalry archers compared to only 21 crossbows. And the 2 mangonels, 1 mangonel only for fire. Sorry, for Dogao against fire. However, these crossbows could either take this out very, very quickly or take a really big hit. Oh, and it's going to be a big hit. That's a lot of low HP crossbows now. He just needs a way to get rid of these mangonels. If he can get rid of these mangonels, he can find an engagement here relatively safely. Looks like he's trying to find somewhere to push in, do some kind of damage, get behind the wood line here. But he's not really going to have the options, sadly. The mangonels are in play. It looks like we could potentially see some mangonel trades here as well. What do we got? 1 for nothing. Good hit from fire. However, going to take out 1 villager and get out of there with any losses. Take the wins you can get. And Dogao's still scouting around with those scouts, as I guess they're meant to do. Over on this side, those skirmishers still lurking about, just waiting for an opportunity. Another stable coming down for Dogao, and Dogao actually getting the scale barding armor behind this too. Interesting. University as well. What have we got on this side? Market actually coming down for fire as well. Is he just really badly balanced his economy? I wouldn't say it's horrible, but he's nearly got the resources to imp. If he sells off some wood, chooses to sell some stone. There we go. But Imperial Age on the way now for fire. Engagement under the town center here against 3 mangonels. Dogao, little bit of a madman. 1-for-1 trade, gets the one in the middle, gets the second one here as well. Couple of cavalry archers go down, no major splash damage on top of them, but we'll be able to kind of deny this area here now. Crossbows back in the base at the moment for fire. More archeries coming up behind this as well. But Imperial Age is going to be so much quicker at the moment for fire. Let's see where Dogao's at resource-wise. Yeah, he's got nothing. He's getting his upgrades behind this. He's really committed to the castle play. Whereas we've got fire go up into Imperials. Once he gets into Arbalest, of course, he goes into Bracer behind that. He's going to have a little bit more of a range advantage. And he's going to have that upgrade advantage. Another cavalry archer here goes down. Oh, and just stays with inside. Loses another cavalry archer as well. Sad to see, but Dogao's out on the prowl. He's looking for anywhere he can do damage against. Potentially could sit across this wood line here. I do want to say Fire's seen it coming at this point. There is actually a Scorpion just hanging out over there. Another Mangonel out in play as well now. Monastery back home, so we do have Dogao collecting the relics. Garrison point is already set. And a couple of knights getting thrown into the mix now for Dogao. He does have the +2 armor on them. He's got the bloodlines, of course. We saw him get that earlier with the cavalry archers. He's just looking for somewhere to break in, and he can't really find it. Imperial Age coming through any minute now for Fire, which means Ball's going to kind of be in his court to make something happen here. As far as villager count goes, we're 93 compared to 74. Dogao on the winning side of that argument. And these crossbows are looking for somewhere to engage at the moment from Fire. Gonna get spotted pretty quickly by these stables, this skirmisher. So we do know that Fire's coming. How does he choose to deal with it? Does he want to show off the knights yet or not? Couple skirmishers over on this hill. Fire gonna push these cavalry archers away for now. Crossbows just about into the eco of Dogao. A couple of villagers get pulled off the farms. Cavalry archers moving home. The knights have actually moved out to deal with those skirmishers, so he's going to reveal he has them. Loses 2 crossbows to the town center there as he goes through. Imperial Age has struck for Fire though, so Arbalest now. Ooh, loses the monk as well. That's a little bit of a sad one. Couple of cavalry archers here will get taken down by the skirms. However, knights hot on their heels will be able to get rid of them very, very quickly. And look at this. Dogao's got his skirms at home as well. Villager gets taken out over on the stone. And knight's going to clean this one up very, very easy. However, we still have no imperial age for Dogao. He does have the stronger economy. He's got, like, the better military count at the moment. Fire's getting... Oh, these guys are about to get trapped. Where are those knights? Gonna try and pick as many cavalry archers as you can now. Try and go out with the extremely valuable unit. Mangonel slowly moving into position. Might get to the fight a little bit too late at this stage. Oh, that's a lot of Arbalest to lose. Let's have a look at the military count. 47 compared to 28. And these guys, the next 8 should get taken down as well. However, all the cavalry archer numbers nearly gone. And where did those knights go? That's my question right now. Knights up towards the top. Looks like we are seeing still cavalry archers in production. Knights in production. Tries to use the hill bonus here just to get a couple of extra little kills. Doesn't happen, sadly. But the thing is, Dogao's just about ready to move out. He has clicked up to Imperial behind this. More Arbalest moving out across the map. Fire has to be very, very careful. The military count is not in his favor at all. Either is the population. 163 for Dogao, only 113 at the moment for Fire. And Knight's going to be able to get on top of this relatively easy if they can pick a good engagement away from this hill. It looks like he is playing the long game. Takes out another cavalry archer. Scout's still patrolling up on the top here, so I'm trying to keep an eye on them as well, just to make sure there's not something like crazy going on. Castle comes up for fire defensively towards this center section. Uses the Arbalest to kind of just hold down this middle. However, goes straight into the skirmishes. Not what we want to see, and the knights just begin to dive on top of it. However, a little bit of a choke point there. Moves back towards the castle. Doesn't want this fight quite just yet. And look at this. We do actually have the production of berserks. We do have scale mail armor coming down as well for fire. So fire, looks like we will actually see some berserks this game. Of course, going to do relatively well against the knights once chieftains is researched. More archeries coming down now for Dogao as well. Knights just looking for someone to do some damage. We've got another defensive castle from fire just on the hill here a little bit. We're going to work out relatively well for him defending his eco now. He's got the town center on the stone on the wood here. We do have the defensive castle up behind this one. Dogao going to decide probably not the best engagement there. But we do have cavalier and we do have plate armor on the way. Parthian tactics as well. Then we do have chain armor coming down for fire. Hopefully going to give those berserks a little bit more of a boost. And castle gets dropped down on the hill here that Dogao was actually already mining from. So, sorry Dogao, but you're out of here. Arbalest move around the other side. Should be able to get rid of those villagers pretty easily. Villager count still an advantage when it comes to Dogao on 125 compared to 105. Military count 50 compared to 30. Dogao also ahead there. Dogao at the moment just looking for his upgrades behind his units, really trying to get any extra kind of leverage he can use. Puts down a defensive castle on this hill, really good section for it. And look at that, villagers getting taken out by the Arbalest pretty quickly by the Arbalest. Skirmishers moving to engage, though, going to try and keep this Arbalest count low. And of course, having the castle over here is going to make things a little bit easier to defend for fire. Very even score count, nearly at about 8k for both our players. Berserks, though, like I was saying, are out in play. They've got the +2 armor, +1 attack. Looks like we're about to have the +4 armor get dropped down as well. Another defensive, or wait, this is the castle I was looking at. So we've got this castle here at the moment for Dogao. And what else is he going to kind of go behind this? What's the play? Skirmishers do have berserks just on top of them. Rest of the armor will finish up shortly, but even then, you don't want to be engaging these with skirms. And hopefully, yep, there's the trebuchets. Trebuchets are what Dogao really needed to be able to push this one. Because at the moment, Fire's kind of just sitting behind his castles, building up his units as best he can. And the population actually slowly starting to catch up here. We've got Fire on 153 compared to the 165 of Dogao. Defensive castle comes up at the front again. Both players getting ready for the long run here. Berserks overstepping their bounds a little bit here with the cavalry archers, of course. Going to be able to take them down relatively easy. And the berserks get pushed away. Both players starting to get their trebuchet numbers up. And Fire going for this massive eco here in the back. We do have the exact same kind of thing going on for Dogao. I would say Dogao is a lot more spread out though. He's basically taken over this half of the map and actually stonewalling this side. Really, really good play from him. Doesn't want any raiding to come into that side of the map. And more archery rangers getting thrown down for Dogao. Look at all these cavalry archers in production. Heavy cavalry archer coming down too. Even forging behind that. And then we've got these trebuchets now. Trebuchet's going to force an engagement from fire. He can't just sit behind his walls now. Where is all of his military count at? We've got units over here, and that's pretty much about it. Military count's 35 to 55 at the moment. Dogao looking extremely strong. He's got heavy cavalry archer about to come in. He's got cavalier. Oh, man, this is going to be hard to kind of go into. Obviously, the berserks as well. We did see chieftains get researched a little bit earlier, so they're going to have a good fight against the cavalier. But right now, with the cavalry archers to back it up, not what we want to see. Trebuchet's raining absolute hell on this castle, and I'm willing to say this side of Fire's eco at the moment is pretty much just going to be under constant raiding. He won't really be able to hold it down too well. We do have the castle coming up right here in the corner trying to defend the farms, but with these trebuchets here, it's not going to be an easy one to hold on. The cavalry are doing some raiding here towards this side. Fire just kind of can't get out of his base at the moment, and he needs to find a way to engage this, because of course the cavalry can just sit under the town centers. They don't care. They've got 2+4 pierce armor, 140 HP. They're just going to run into the eco, do what damage they can. Trebuchets, caught a little bit out of position here by some of the arbalists, but it's not enough numbers, no berserks to kind of jump on top of it, no light cavalry to be able to do the same thing, but we'll be able to take out this castle relatively easy. We've got a whole bunch of idols here now. Look at that, 29 idols at the moment for Fire, not what we want to see. Cavalry archers going up against the skirms. Dogao knows he has the numbers here to be confident. Berserk's cutting through a lot of the cavalier now. Oh, look at that damage. But do get cut down by the cavalry archers, of course. Elite Berserk here trying to do some work versus the trebuchets. Not going to happen. Castle on this side gets thrown down. What have we got on this side here? Just Berserk taking out the mining camp. Didn't know if there's any raiding. Castle goes down on the western front. TC's under pressure. Where's the military fire? You've got 31 military on the field right now. It's just scattered everywhere. He has no full force to start engaging this one. Dogao's just going to be able to just send straight through the middle here, pierce this section, say goodbye to your farms, the majority of your eco, and it's going to be game over. Dogao playing this amazingly well now. There's just no way for Fire to engage this big ball of death. Fire trying to get chemistry behind this, but look at this. We do have the light cavalry raids about to come in as well from Dogao. He's getting chemistry too. In fact, I think it's Hussar as well at the moment. Yep, Hussar coming in. So the raids are about to begin. Obviously, the Berserk's going to be reasonably good versus the Hussar, but when they're just raiding your base, they're essentially just being thrown away anyway, and oh no, are these Berserks on stand ground, or was that a pathing issue? Not what we wanted to see either way. Raiding stables coming forward for Dogao. He's got all these cavalry archers he could potentially use to fight off against these Berserks if he wants to. Trebuchets though, yep, Berserk's going to dive on the Trebuchets as best they can. Trying to use the hill advantage here with the cavalry archers, or I guess these ones at least. Skirmishers push forward as well. Two of the Trebuchets do get taken down. Oh, sorry, one of the Trebuchet gets taken down. I thought this one. Yes, 4 HP left. I'm sorry, Berserk. You didn't get there. Nearly lost this Trebuchet. And again, this is Dogao's game to lose. He's got so many options for pushing. And look at this, Berserk's coming down the side, trying to find somewhere to do some raiding, but again, the stone wall I was talking about earlier makes things so hard to deal with, and Dogao even coming down with the forward castle as well, wants to make sure he's secured this section, and all this farming for Fire will just be an absolute waste. Skirm numbers for Fire at the moment, pushing against Dogao, or I would say trying to hold Dogao as best he can, but Trebuchets move forward, of course, and there's no way at the moment for Fire to push into these heavy cavalry archers. Hussar raiding should come in behind this. And just uses the Hussars to take down the Berserks as best as possible. Trebuchets here at the moment from Fire. I don't think they're really going to be able to accomplish too much. Takes down the rest of the skirmishers. And 2 Siege Workshop decides not to go for the forward castle and goes for the forward Siege Workshop. Berserk slowly streaming in one at a time. Not really going to be able to accomplish too much, especially when you can just get out of there. We've got 24 cavalry archers there at the moment. And look at that, here comes the Hussars. They just dive down straight on top of the Trebuchets. And that's GG. I believe in you, Fire, but sadly, that one was not for you. Hope you enjoyed the game, guys, and like I was saying earlier, please subscribe to the channel. It's always nice to see people kind of enjoying what we do, and more importantly, it gives me a reason to keep doing things like this. I can be like, hey, look how many people love it. So, subscribe, guys, and we'll see you in the next game. See you soon.